Hi, hi. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful girl named Fikul. She was well mannered and kind hearted, and her mother passed away when she was very young. So she was taken care by her stepmother, who also had another daughter named Mali. And it was very unfortunate that both the mother and the daughter were wicked. They forced Fikul to work hard every day. One day, Fikul went to fetch water from a stream, and on the way back home, an old woman suddenly appeared in front of Fikul and asked water from her to drink. Fikul helped her by giving water and told her not to worry if the water was not enough, she would go and bring more. The old woman smiled and said, "You're beautiful and kind at heart. Though I'm poor and look shabby, you still treat me very well." After praising Fikul with such kind words, the old woman then gave her a wish for Fikul, and by this virtue, golden flowers would come out from her mouth whenever she felt sympathy for anyone or anything. The old woman disappeared immediately after granting the wish. And after returning home late, Fikul was scolded by her stepmother, who thought that she had gone somewhere just to avoid her daily work. Fikul thus told the whole story to her stepmother, and feeling sympathy, many golden flowers came out from her mouth. The greedy stepmother quickly changed her mood from anger to greed and rushed to grab all the golden flowers, also flattering Fikul to speak more. And from that day onwards, the stepmother collected as many golden flowers as possible to sell in the market, and she also got a lot of money from them. So now all of them lived a happy life. Fikul did not really have to work very hard as before, but she was forced to speak the whole day so that more golden flowers would come out from her mouth. Exhausted by her stepmother's greedy demands, Fikul got a sore throat and became voiceless. She could not speak for a while, and the situation upset her stepmother so much that she started beating Fikul, trying to force her to speak. But Fikul could not even utter a single word. So, to satisfy her greed, the stepmother decided to send her own daughter Mali to do the same thing as what Fikul did earlier. Mali was sent to the same place as told by Fikul, but instead of meeting an old woman, she met a beautiful young woman wearing an impressive dress, standing under the shade of a big tree. The woman then asked for water from Mali to drink. Out of jealousy, Mali got angry and refused to give water and used rude words to curse her. But it was the same angel who met Fikul earlier in disguise. The angel thus placed a curse on Mali that whenever she got angry and spoke, worms would come out from her mouth. Upon returning home, Mali told the whole story to her mother, and from the anger of telling the story, the whole house was full of worms. The mother thought that Fikul was jealous of her, so she gave a misleading story, and that's why Mali did not get to meet the old woman. So she bet Fikul and threw her out of the house. Overwhelmed by this grief, Fikul wandered alone in the forest, and fortunately she walked in the same direction of a young prince who was enjoying a horse ride in the forest along with his soldiers. Upon seeing the young girl crying, the prince asked her to tell the whole story, And at the end of the narration, the whole area was filled with golden flowers. The prince was very pleased and asked for her in marriage. After marrying her, the couple ascended the throne and ruled the city happily ever after. And this story is from the folk tales of Thailand. And the moral of the story is, in Thailand, it is very inappropriate to raise your voice and express anger or frustration. This folktale shows the Thai strong value in compassion and kindness. Compassion is one of the Buddha's most emphasized teachings overall. There is a joke on another stepmother. So once a man goes on vacation to Israel with his wife and her stepmother, that is his mother-in-law. And while in Israel, the stepmother died at the hotel. So the people there told him, "Sir, if you want to take and bury her back in your country, it is going to cost you around $5,000 to bring back her corpse. But since she died at the hotel, we can do the funeral for her in Israel for free." The man immediately refused and said he would pay $5,000 to do the funeral back home. So when in his place after the funeral, his wife came to him and said, "I really love what you just did for my mom. That proves me that you actually loved my mother and you respected her." This guy replied, "Babe, are you crazy? Those Israelis are the same people who buried Jesus and 3 days later he came back to life. I'm not about to take the same risk with your mother."